Have you ever wondered why we fall in love with certain people and not others? Why some relationships feel like magic at first sight, while others leave us drained, frustrated, or wondering what went wrong? In a world shaped by the idea of romantic love, we're constantly told to trust our feelings, to follow our hearts, and to let instinct guide us toward the person who will make us truly happy. But what if that very instinct, the thing we've been taught to rely on above all else, isn't actually a reliable guide to lasting happiness? What if the reasons we feel drawn to certain people are far more complicated and far older than we realize? Today, we're diving deep into the science, history, and psychology of attraction. We're going to explore why your type exists, why it might be sabotaging your happiness, and how understanding your own emotional patterns could be the key to loving smarter and maybe even differently than you ever imagined. Modern culture has elevated the idea of love into almost a sacred, mystical experience. Romanticism, the philosophy that shaped our contemporary ideas of love, encourages us to trust our feelings above all else. According to this ideology, falling in love is a moment of ecstatic recognition, a flash of insight when you meet someone whose beauty, inside and out, seems to perfectly match your own. You're supposed to feel an immediate, almost undeniable connection, a spark that says, "This person is meant for me." At first glance, it sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Romantic love seems warm, intuitive, and effortless. The originators of this idea imagined that this approach would end the old-fashioned, calculated relationships of the past, arranged marriages, which treated love as a social contract rather than a personal choice. But here's the catch. Trusting your instincts has not always led to happiness. In fact, in many cases, it's been a recipe for disaster. Romantic intuition, despite its poetic appeal, can be misleading. People drawn together by passion and excitement often find themselves repeating patterns of dysfunction, attraction to the wrong qualities, or longing for something familiar rather than truly fulfilling. Think about it. In medieval Europe, marriages were often about land, power, and alliances. Love was secondary or even irrelevant. Couples were shackled together by the interests of royal courts, not by shared values or mutual attraction. Love, if it came, was an afterthought. Modern love, on the other hand, is supposed to be instinctive, spontaneous, and guided by personal desire. We meet people at nightclubs, parties, or online, and the feeling of connection is supposed to signal compatibility. But instinct, just like calculation in the past, is far from foolproof. It often reflects patterns buried deep in our psyche, patterns formed long before we understood ourselves, long before we knew what we truly wanted. Psychotherapy and modern psychological research have given us another perspective. The theory goes like this. We don't necessarily fail in love because the people we choose are wrong in an objective sense. Instead, we often fall in love with those who mirror the ways we first experienced love as children. Your adult relationships are in many ways modeled on a template you received in childhood. This template is rarely perfect. It may include warmth, care, and attention, but it may also include neglect, unpredictability, or even emotional confusion. And because this template is familiar, it feels safe, even if it's not truly healthy. For example, you might be drawn to someone emotionally distant, controlling, or unpredictable, not because these traits are inherently attractive, but because they echo experiences you had growing up. The excitement, tension, or emotional highs and lows feel familiar, and your brain interprets familiarity as a form of comfort, even when it's actually harmful. Here's an interesting paradox. Sometimes the people who seem perfect, balanced, kind, mature, reliable, feel strangely foreign to us. They may not trigger the same intense feelings of attraction as someone who is more unpredictable or emotionally complex. Why is that? Because perfect people don't fit the template we internalized in childhood. If your early experiences of love involved tension, drama, or mixed signals, you might unconsciously find calm and reliability boring or even unsettling. This isn't a conscious choice. It's the emotional legacy of your upbringing shaping your adult desires, often in ways that contradict what would actually make you happy. Most of us like to think we are seeking happiness in love, but more often than not, we are seeking familiarity. We are trying to recreate feelings we first experienced as children, whether those feelings were safe and nurturing or chaotic and complicated. Maybe your early experiences of love were intertwined with wanting to care for someone who was out of control, or feeling deprived of warmth, or fearing anger or rejection. These early patterns can create unconscious attractions that lead us to choose partners who replicate the dynamics of our childhood, even if they are toxic or limiting. This is why we sometimes reject the nice or emotionally healthy person. Their goodness feels foreign, unearned, or even suspicious. Meanwhile, someone who mirrors old, unresolved dynamics can feel magnetic, familiar, and impossible to resist. So, what can we do? How do we break free from unconscious patterns and make wiser choices in love? One of the most effective tools is self-reflection. Take a pen and a large sheet of paper and ask yourself, what qualities in people excite me? What qualities repel me? How might these preferences connect to my childhood experiences? Be honest. If slightly distant, moody, or even controlling people always capture your attention, it's worth asking why. If calm, dependable, or overly perfect individuals feel boring or unappealing, explore that too. By mapping your patterns, you begin to see that your attractions are not random. They are legacies, echoes of early experiences that shaped what love feels like for you. Awareness doesn't magically change your type overnight, but it gives you the power to pause, reflect, and make more conscious choices. Examining your emotional history reveals important truths. You are limited in the types of people you find attractive because of patterns from your past. Some attractions may bring suffering rather than happiness. Some rejections may prevent you from pursuing truly healthy, fulfilling relationships. Understanding these patterns allows you to untangle your impulses from your true desires. It's a way of freeing yourself from old scripts and exploring love in new, more conscious ways. Once you recognize your patterns, you can begin to expand the range of people you might consider loving. The qualities that once excited or repelled you are not fixed. They can be reconfigured, combined, or expressed differently in new people. For example, the intensity you once felt for a distant or unpredictable person could appear in someone who is also reliable and caring. The allure of someone forbidden might transform into appreciation for someone supportive who challenges you in healthy ways. By understanding and reflecting on your own emotional history, you become capable of loving differently. You're no longer a passive participant in the patterns of your past. You're an active architect of your relationships. Ultimately, falling in love is not just about following instinct or chasing ecstasy. It's about understanding yourself deeply, your childhood, your emotional templates, and your unconscious desires. When you pause, reflect, and become aware of your patterns, you gain freedom. You can choose partners who may not fit your old type, but who align with your true capacity for happiness, growth, and connection. You can resist the illusion of love at first sight as a guarantee of compatibility. You can recognize that someone who seems perfect may feel foreign, and that someone who feels familiar may not be healthy. Love in this conscious sense becomes a craft. It's no longer about compulsions, instant sparks, or repeating patterns. It's about creating relationships that are not only familiar, but also fulfilling, nurturing, and transformative. So, the next time your heart races at the sight of someone new, or you feel inexplicably drawn to a type you know might be trouble, take a moment. Ask yourself, is this attraction truly about happiness, or is it the echo of a story you've been carrying since your childhood? Awareness doesn't take the magic out of love, it gives you the power to write your own story and to choose someone who can truly make you whole.